This is our presentation on a cluster for Maine's biofuel and aerospace technology. I'm Alexis Piercy.
My name is Guen.
I'm Zeke Ventura.
I'm Justin Kormsey.
All right. To start off, the assignment we took was to identify how and what encourages cluster development, and specifically for Maine, and how can we start building another cluster in the state. The reason we chose this one was because we thought it had the biggest potential to make an actual impact on Maine's economy. And so we're going to deliver our idea on where to implement the cluster. The problem that we chose to tackle was creating a cluster to link farms to biofuel refineries and aerospace companies, specifically Blue Shift, to support Maine's economy and create jobs to help the depleting workforce, also countering the effects of COVID-19. We chose this because of the projected 50% growth in the biofuel industry over the next 30 years. And we're just focusing on these industries in order to create jobs for the people of Maine. Our quick recommendation is to connect companies like Blue Shift, which is an aerospace technology firm focusing on CubeSat technology, biofuel refineries, specifically Maine Standard Biofuels in Portland, and natural resources from farms and timber companies all across Maine to try to get all of the supply chain. We want to utilize growing biofuel industries by investing in research and production of biofuel. We want to market that industry's jobs to both Maine and out of Maine students. And we also want to build an R&D facility for research and to create more jobs.
So for the data that brought us to this conclusion or to this recommendation, in 2020, Maine passed a bill that allowed for a research council for a possible spaceport in Maine, which is ultimately showing a lot of progress in the state, how they're moving towards a different industry. And the University of Maine is actually one of 18 small research satellites that were selected by NASA to not only receive a over 500,000 fund for the next 3 years, but to also go into space and to actually launch the rocket. And this is showing that not only the students of Maine are good at engineering, but they are like very into it. And this shows a lot of promise for the future. The aero and space transportation and other transportation equipment was a leading manufacturer sector in 2017, which may seem surprising to others as it beat out the paper goods and wood products of Maine, which are bigger industries, but the aerospace and other transportation equipment was the leading manufactured sector. So Maine has over 1,300,000 acres of farmland, which is just shy of the state of Delaware, which shows how much farms Maine actually has. And these farms, like Zeke said, can be used to to create biofuels to send to these industries in like Blue Shift. And then building off of that, Maine is estimated to have 17.6 million acres of forest land across the whole state. And biofuels are created from waste products and timber. So having all of this forest land is a lot of opportunity for biofuels. And currently there are already 2 major biorefineries located in Maine. The one in Portland is the Maine Standard Biofuels, and there's one in Orono, Maine, which is the university's and its Forest Bioproducts Institute.
So for our implementation, the first step would be connecting Blue Shift with the two main biofuel refineries. And along with that is connecting the biofuel refineries with Maine's 1.3 million acres of farmland. That should be done by fall of 2021. Step 2, done by spring of 2022, is acquiring $2 million in investments to use toward biofuel research that can be shared with the refineries in Maine. And then connecting the refineries with giving them access to wood waste to further that research, and that goes along with that 17.6 million acres of forest. The step 3 was done by the start of 2023, and that is to support aerospace technology with the use of biofuel, and building an R&D facility in Portland, Maine, which would be right next to the Maine refinery in Portland. And then market industry jobs towards Maine and out-of-state students by providing internship opportunities through Maine state schools. And then step 4, which should be done by the end of 2023, is bringing in more Maine companies who use biofuel and connecting them to those refineries. And then the last step, which should be done by spring of 2024, is we want to support the companies that in Maine that use biofuel. And for Blue Shift especially, we want to promote their CubeSat technology, which would bring in a lot of out-of-state business and would just bring all of that into Maine. And then hopefully building a second R&D facility in Bangor.
All right, so now that you've heard our plan, this is some reasons why we think aerospace and biofuels are a good direction to go in. So we talked a little bit, the state of Maine is already trying to become a space hub for the nation. The $500,000 grant from NASA is showing this. The University of Maine already offers 11 ABET accredited engineering and engineering technology degree programs. It's a very high level engineering school, and trying to keep those graduate students in Maine in an aerospace company would be good. Yeah, so we talked, Blue Shift has earned the support of NASA as well as the Maine Technology Institute. This is through research on their CubeSat technology. So CubeSat market is projected to grow from $152 million to $375 million by 2023, which would be good revenue for Maine. And then for biofuel, so Maine has over 7,600 farms. It has 2 major biorefineries, and we talked about in our plan making a few more, and linking all of these to Blue Shift and its biofuel research would capitalize on the entire value chain. Biofuel is a very good direction to go in today's social climate with global warming. The biofuel industry within the US is projected to grow by 7.7% to $54.8 billion by 2025. And numbers show that it would increase by 7% each year. So we've also found that there's a couple death threats with our project, things that would just stop it in its tracks, and we wouldn't be able to move on from there. Like with any project, low investment would be a problem. It's building rockets, so it's a very expensive project to begin with. So we need to capitalize on investment. Government approvals can be a problem if laws and bills need to be signed in order to be able to launch rockets in Maine. Some already exist, but yeah, the government can shut it down whenever. We talked a little bit about how geographic areas must be safe for the environment, the animals, and the people around in order to be able to continue launching rockets. And one we've really focused on, one that's just a big problem for Maine's depleting workforce, would be the inability to attract high-level engineers. We already do an okay job, but need to make sure that we have the talent coming into Maine to complete this project.
So ultimately, our goal is that Maine, or the plan is that Maine should expand to the space and technology industry through Blue Shift by connecting them with Maine farms and biorefineries in order for a greater portion of the supply chain to be distributed within the state. So unfortunately, Maine has a depleting workforce. So by using the biofuel technology and Blue Shift and all the farms, we can create more jobs and a bigger supply chain in Maine for the aerospace and technology industry. And we can also bring in more out-of-state business to Maine, stimulating the economy to a place where it should be. And that is our plan. Thank you.